they dislike these guys and they're looking at you to knock them out?
I'm here to just have fun.
You're there to knock them out.
I'm here to just have fun and do what I do. I'm gonna make it do what it do. That's what I do. I'm Floyd Mayweather.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather around because what we are witnessing right now is not just a boxing story. It is a soap opera wrapped in silk boxing shorts, sprinkled with $100 bills, and delivered with the audacity of a man who hasn't taken a real punch in years. Floyd Money Mayweather has opened his mouth. Manny Pacquiao has laced up his boots.
I knocked the guy out in the first round. People gonna say it wasn't worth it. If I carry him a few rounds, then they're gonna be like, oh, man, this was fake. So you can't please everybody, so I'm gonna go out there and do what I do best.
Can't let him go 8 rounds though, right?
If I want to let him go 8 rounds, I may let him go 8 rounds.
No, you talked about you wanted to focus on entertainment. Is anything in pro wrestling? Did that interest you? The spot I recommended before? Is that something that...
We don't know. We may do it again. We don't know what the future holds, but we know we're gonna have.
And Terence Crawford, bless his soul, has wandered into the circus like a man who simply cannot resist a good disaster. Let's set the scene. Footage emerges of Terence Crawford, pound for pound one of the best fighters alive, standing ringside at Manny Pacquiao's training camp.
It's a good thing for me that I have rest. I have time to rest for the longest time in my career. It help a lot for my body and my mind relaxing. And this time around, I'm so excited and feeling like I'm young.
Do you feel you have something to prove in this fight, Manny? I know you've accomplished so much, but do you feel you personally want to show something to the world or prove something?
Oh yeah, it's a challenge that they might think that oh, Manny's career is over and he's old like that. So something wrong that I need to prove it. And
watching, nodding, offering insights like a man who genuinely believes this fight is happening. And you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe the universe, in all its chaotic glory, has decided that 2025 needs a Mayweather-Pacquiao rematch, because apparently the first one, the one that allegedly robbed us of a classic, wasn't enough punishment for the paying public. Pacquiao himself? He looks alive. He looks dangerous.
Great fight, man. It's a very tough fight for both guys. You know, and look, it's hard to pick a winner for me on that fight because, you know, Pacquiao is a slick, fast, you know, strong guy. You know, he's a pressure fighter. And I mean, man, that's gonna be explosive. It's all, you know, and I guess whoever had the best game plan, I think, is gonna win.
He'd turn back the clock.
He's jumping around the ring with the kind of energy that makes men half his age feel embarrassed. He says he's energetic, he says he feels youthful. And most powerfully of all, he says he has something to prove. Because the world, the casual fans, the critics, the people who wrote his career obituary somewhere between 2019 and last Tuesday, they all believe Manny Pacquiao is done. Finished, a relic, a museum exhibit labeled Greatest Filipino Fighter, Do Not Disturb, and nothing.
Maybe 5 years. It looked like he was quicker, sharper, more explosive than I've seen him since pre-Floyd Mayweather fight.
I do agree with you, and he gave up his killer instinct a lot by he didn't want to hurt his opponents, and all he has to do is beat them. And after losing a couple bad decisions, that kind of went away a little. Finally.
So did you see a little more killer instinct?
Definitely, yeah. In this training camp, it was. Even in his last fight, it was a little more. He's shown a little bit more each fight, and then in this training camp, we definitely saw that killer instinct. And then in the first round, I think that's why he kind of snuck out of there a little bit.
Nothing in this sport is more terrifying than a legend with a point to prove and absolutely nothing to lose. Now enter Ronnie Shields, the trainer, the voice of measured reason in an unreasonable sport, who steps up and says something that should send a chill down Floyd Mayweather's perfectly moisturized spine. Pacquiao's speed could be a major factor, not his heart, not his legacy, not his left hook, his speed. As in, the man might still be too fast for the man who has never been touched. Meanwhile, the legendary Freddie Roach.
There, Floyd had the advantage. He waited until Manny slowed down and got a little bit older before taking that fight. This thing here, too, it looks like, he's waited for Manny to be retired a little while before taking the fight again. Do you think he just...
Well, that's not true because Floyd's been retired.
But Floyd's been fighting exhibition fights quite often, whereas Manny's been worried about pops. Do you think he's just looking for, like I said, the right time to do it? That would favor him.
I mean, I don't think it's nothing worried about the right time. I mean, I think that both of them, it's a great fight for the fans. That and I think that, if it's a great fight for the fans, it's something that, I mean, at the end of the day, of course, who's ever trying to get this fight to happen, it's about how much money they can get.
How do you think
Two of
Floyd?
the biggest names still. I mean, that just goes to show you that the names that came before this generation are still
who has spent more time with Pacquiao than almost anyone alive, doubles down with an even bolder claim. He says Manny looks faster, sharper, and more menacing than he has in previous fights. He describes it as a renewed killer instinct, a resurrection, a second coming of the Pac-Man who dismantled Oscar De La Hoya, destroyed Ricky Hatton, and made Miguel Cotto question every life choice that he had ever made.
Okay, for 4 years. It's good for me, for my body, because I've been I started boxing when I was young, so good for my body to rest for 4 years, and then now I come back. I feel like I'm, the passion, the fire in my eyes, to work hard, like that, is still there.
Floyd Mayweather's response to all of this? His response to the footage of Crawford coaching Pacquiao? His response to the talk of speed and sharpness and killer instincts? He shrugs. He smiles that smile, the one that costs more per tooth than most people's cars. And he says that style does not matter to him, that his experience allows him to face any type of fighter, that he plans to just have fun in the ring, fun in the ring, against a man who apparently looks faster than he has in years, with Terence Crawford whispering strategy in his ear.
Both these, these iconic fighters, right, at this point. All right, number one, advantage, disadvantage, age, right? I put even. They each get a check. They're both old, right? So that's number one. The number two was, who's got less miles on the odometer? And because of the defensive style of Mayweather, I gave a check to Mayweather having the edge here. I mean, besides the Marquez fights, Pacquiao's been in some tough fights, right? Reflexes and timing and other boxing elements. Well, I gave the check to Pacquiao. At least he's had some fights, or at least one real fight, Barrios recently. And yeah, Mayweather's fresher, but inactivity could affect his timing.
Now, one of two things is happening here. Either Floyd Mayweather is genuinely the most confident human being who has ever laced up a pair of gloves, a man so complete in his self-belief that Terence Crawford and Freddie Roach and Ronnie Shields combined represent nothing more than background noise, or Floyd Mayweather is putting on the single greatest performance of his second career, which is, of course, the career of being Floyd Mayweather rather than actually fighting. Either
power. Well, the guy who's always been a naturally better puncher, not the naturally bigger guy though, so that equals it out a little bit, evens it out. The naturally bigger guy is Mayweather, but the natural punch was always Pacquiao. He gets a check. Speed. Who gets the edge there? Well, Mayweather always fast, always smooth, always fluid. And Pacquiao, I mean, tremendous hand and feet speed, foot speed. I give them both a check, no advantage. Defense, well, the forte and the reason he could fight so long for Mayweather has always been, he's been a wizard. He's been a defensive magician in the ring. I mean, Pacquiao gets hit more, but, you know, he's a good defensive fighter. He's been great, but Mayweather's the man there. Conditioning. Hey, Floyd lives clean. He always seems to be in shape.
Way, it is box office gold and we are all buying tickets. But here's where things get truly delicious, because into this glittering spectacle steps Jeff Mayweather, uncle, trainer, family insider. And he drops what might be the most quietly devastating observation in this entire saga. He hints.
Back to Floyd Mayweather stating that he's going to continue to campaign and come back to the sport as a whole. I'm torn on this. Anybody that has followed me, they know that I'm a big Floyd Mayweather fan as a boxer. I've taken a lot from Floyd Mayweather. I've shouted Floyd Mayweather out. I've defended Floyd Mayweather in terms of how commentators and media members have treated him throughout the years, even though Floyd Mayweather is responsible for giving y'all a lot of free lunches at these media events to promote fights, the week of the fight, months before the fight, during the promo tour. Floyd Mayweather is responsible for y'all getting media credentialed at these big fights and getting these free lunches and being a part of a big event. But for years, I've heard people only talk about what Floyd Mayweather wasn't to them.
And note the word hints, because Jeff is too smart to say it plainly. That Floyd may have strategically waited until Pacquiao slowed down with age before considering another fight. Let that sink in. The suggestion being floated, even in whisper, is that the greatest defensive fighter of all time, the man who built an entire empire on the back of his unbeaten record, may have done the calculus and decided that now, right now,
hundreds of millions, and in many cases, hundreds of millions, he should have stopped him. He was boring. He was this. I've always supported and pushed back on that narrative of Floyd Mayweather. Part of that is because of the way Floyd Mayweather goes about his business. He's been filthy rich. He's made his name, his legacy, and a lot of his reputation wasn't just the boxing, it was the money. It's the money man. What I have, what I'm driving, what I'm living in, what I'm flying in. And a lot of people, they don't like that. I don't know if Floyd Mayweather had more supporters for most of his fights or more haters. But regardless of where you fall on that line, Floyd Mayweather made it work for him when many people, promoters included, networks included, early on didn't think that he can do it. But that being said, I got a lot of love for Floyd as a fighter. I've taken a lot from Floyd Mayweather.
Now, when Manny Pacquiao is in the later chapters of his career, is the safest possible moment to do this again. Whether that is genius or cowardice depends entirely on who you ask and how much you paid for the first fight. Then Teddy Atlas arrives, and Teddy Atlas, as always, does not come to flatter. He comes with facts and a clipboard and a look on his face like a man who has seen too much boxing to be impressed by anyone. He lays it out clearly. These two men are close in age. Both are operating in the territory where Father Time has opinions. But here is the twist.
It's just they're both getting $100 million. You're presented with a $100 million bag, okay? And you're still good physically, all right? You can still fight and you feel good. You ain't turning down that bag, bro. You're not. You're going to say yes to it. All you guys that are cheating on it, okay? Let's just be real for a second. No cap. We're all taking this fight. We're all taking it. You can't blame them to take it. We're all taking it, all right? So I hear both arguments, but it is what it is, right? They're going to take it regardless. They're prize fighters. They fight for a prize, duh, as Floyd famously said in that 24/7 build-up against Shane Mosley. And they're going to do what they're going to do. Now, in terms of why this fight is happening, honestly,
Atlas believes Pacquiao may actually have the advantage in reflexes. Why? Because Manny has been active. He has been in recent fights, taking real punches from real fighters, keeping those neural pathways sharp. Meanwhile, Mayweather's body has been preserved in exhibitions and spectacles. High profile, highly profitable, but not exactly the kind of competition that keeps your reflexes razor-edged. However, and Atlas gives Floyd this much. Mayweather
said that they, want to put on big, huge events. if you were to grade the type of events they've put on in terms of how serious they are, and when I say serious, I mean like real fights, okay? Like real fights with implications in boxing. You know, you have to give them like a C, honestly. Like, look at the fights they've put on, okay? And if there's any criticism, albeit constructive criticism, towards Netflix, is I feel that they should step up the type of fights they're putting on their platform, because there could be a lot of blowback. There was a huge amount of blowback the first Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, okay? You had all this attention. Literally the whole sports world and a big part of the world was tuned in to this fight. And the fight was boring.
Mayweather still holds the edge in defense and ring IQ. The blueprint is still there. The defensive genius, the angles, the shoulder roll, the ability to make men miss while making it look like an art form. Whether that blueprint is still executable at this stage of the game is the question that makes this fight so irresistible. And then striding in from the corner of uncomfortable truths comes Andre Ward. Ward, who knows something about being the smartest man in any room he enters, raises concerns about why Floyd Mayweather keeps coming back. And Ward's answer, delivered with the quiet authority of a man who walked away on his own terms, is this: the motivation might not be legacy. It might not be redemption. It might not be the love of the sport or the unfinished business with Pacquiao. It might be purely and simply money.
It was also a little bit too late, and they didn't really fight with that passion and fire. It was more like, I'll dance, you dance, and if nobody gets hurt, we both win, you know? And that's not really what fans want to see. Having said that, the first time around was for the championship of the world. Floyd was the champion. You know, Pacquiao was challenging him. I think Floyd had the WBC title at the time, so on and so forth. And you know what I say about, and at the time, it was still a fight that was viable within the whole world landscape of the welterweight division. This time around, it's not really a viable fight within the landscape of the welterweight division. But it's like I always complain about Canelo. As long as you don't take the belts with you and hold them hostage, and the sanctioning bodies allow you to hold them hostage, I don't mind guys doing this kind of thing. You know, let's face it. Is it the only time we've seen this? We've seen this time and again. I mean, Leonard did the third fight with Duran and Hearns in 1989. I mean, the rematch with Hearns and the third fight with Duran. You know, so you know, and I think those sold pretty good as well. You know, people got into it. Were they kind of duds? Yeah. I mean, the third Duran and Leonard fight at the Mirage, people kind of are probably more forgetful about it. But regardless, the nostalgia aspect of it, like the champ said, is gonna attract people. It's gonna you know, make people curious. There's also the aspect of it where the new fan base is always curious about the old time fighters, which is why Tyson always gets views even today, because people are always curious about the Mike Tyson mystique, the Mike Tyson effect. So people that weren't able to be alive and wake up the morning of a Mike Tyson fight to know what that feels like, you know, want to feel that today. I promise you, it's nothing like it was in 1989 with Tyson, no matter what you guys want to feel. But regardless, I think people get curious about that.
Shocking, we know. A man called Money Mayweather potentially being motivated by money. Alert the presses. Paulie Malignaggi, never one to dress things up when he can say them raw, frames the potential rematch with surgical bluntness. This is less a truly competitive bout within the current welterweight landscape and more a massive financial opportunity dressed up in championship belts and legacy narratives. Andre Ward is asking the uncomfortable money question. And Paulie Malignaggi is standing in the corner pointing at the box office numbers with the expression of a man who has accepted reality and found it deeply profitable. This is not just a boxing rematch. This is a cultural event. This is two legends who refuse to stay retired, circling each other again with the whole world watching, for reasons that are equal parts athletic pride, financial brilliance, unfinished business, and sheer unapologetic spectacle. Whether it is competitive, whether it is the classic we deserved the first time, whether either of these men has truly got what it takes at this stage. None of that matters yet. What matters is that it is happening. The world cannot look away. And somewhere in a training camp, Manny Pacquiao is throwing punches with his eyes bright and his fists fast, and Terence Crawford is nodding and saying, "Yeah, that'll work." God help us all. We are buying every single second of it.